Welcome to Video A6 of the Clever Quick series of strategies for the management of learning. Video A6 covers part 1 of End in Mind thinking, setting goals with a monthly calendar. The Clever Quick system is a comprehensive set of strategies to ensure students get a great start on their lifetime of learning. It is the second video of a 5-video set, which guides the use of time management. Thanks for joining us today. Priya, Abby, Ethan, and Jarvis are back to share some more ways that they found to be successful with school in all parts of their lives.
We're following our friends with the theme of managing time, continuing from the last video. Ideas for setting long-term goals and using monthly and yearly planning calendars are introduced. Good luck as you get yourself organized for success. Are you continuing to take care with the time and place of your study? Are you putting into practice what you have learned? Remember also to use the tips about organizing your work each day and managing your tasks, which you learned about previously.
Let me introduce you to a rather confused young woman. She looks a little dazed, wouldn't you agree? Here she is again, sitting at a bus stop. Wonder where she's going? When I asked her that, she had no idea. Yet she was waiting to get on a bus. She had not even bothered to check the schedules and the routes, so she actually had no idea which bus to get on. It has been said that if you don't know where you're going, you won't know when you get there, and it doesn't really matter which bus you get on. It can be like that in your life, and with the big assignments you have to do for school. If you are going through the motions of school and activities to fill your time, but have no idea where they are leading you, and no idea how to set goals for your big projects, you might be like the young person we just saw at the bus stop. Have you ever been lost or thought you were? It's not a great feeling. When you travel, you need to know what your destination is going to be, and then you need to plan a route to get there. It's the same, whether you're going by bus like the young woman we saw, by car, by train, or on foot. Whether you're in the city or in the countryside. You can think of it in the same way when approaching your schoolwork, particularly your large assignments and projects. Stephen Covey called it beginning with the end in mind in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I began to use that approach, and it really helped me. It's all about deciding on what you want to have accomplished by a certain time. You then set goals and figure out ways to reach them.
This end-in-mind approach helped me organize all the things I needed to do to be successful with my courses at school. If you want to be successful, you may wish to try this as well. This works especially well with long-term reports and projects, which are often tricky to handle. First, you should begin with an overview of the whole course, and the time frame that it will cover. This will likely involve using a large calendar which stretches out over a number of months, or a year. It's best to have it in a form that you can see at a glance, and that can be displayed in your place of study. In addition to this long-range calendar planner, a large wall or desk calendar with roomy squares is ideal. On the long-range and monthly calendars, I wrote in the due dates for all of my assignments. As I identified additional course activities, along with the sections of my big assignments that I had decided on, I set projected completion dates, and then entered those dates right away on the calendars. I then added other personal activities that I'm involved with on a somewhat regular basis. These included events with clubs, organizations, friends and family. I'm involved with a basketball team, so I added games, practices and tournaments, once I knew the dates. I'm also learning how to play the drums and have church activities, so I included dates related to those things as well. These calendars held my master plan for completing my courses, meeting my other commitments, and enjoying life at the same time. Let's look at an example of a large project. In the next chapter of Future Loop you will finally get to learn about Caleb's passion project, the one that Blaze is helping him with. Blaze has told us that Caleb's teacher will give him the go-ahead for the project he wants to do, so we will give you a few details here. The topic he decided on is this: where, off Earth, could we live? The topic had been Caleb's idea, but Blaze had suggested the title, partly because he liked the play on words. There is a popular saying that starts with the phrase, "Where on earth?" It is used when you really have no idea of the location of something. You may have heard of an old game, called Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? Well, Caleb and Blaze decided to use the same phrase, but change the on to off. An interesting twist. Essentially, Caleb was interested in looking at what other places in space existed, where humans could actually live. It combined his interests of space travel, being eco-friendly and technology of the future. Caleb will need to break the bigger tasks into short manageable chunks that he can deal with on a day-to-day basis. There are a number of reasons for doing this assignment chunking. First, it will help him, and you, better identify the amount of work there is, thereby helping with estimates of the time needed. Also, if you, or Caleb have tasks which require only 1 or 2 hours each, it will be easier to see progress. Completing each smaller task gives a sense of accomplishment and provides motivation to push on to further accomplishments. If you have larger assignments, and you just work away at them without chunking them into smaller pieces, it's harder to see your progress, and discouragement can set in. Priya is going to share some details of how Caleb and Blaze divided their topic up into sections, and the smaller parts that needed to be done for each. It's worth paying attention to. Follow this plan with passion projects and assignments you may have, and you will do well.
Thanks, Jarvis. Not long ago I had an assignment, a term report, that was due in 4 weeks. It was a large task, and needed to be broken down into parts. Creating a chart helped with this. Let me share how I approached this. I won't bore you with the report I was working on. It actually wasn't all that interesting. I didn't pick something that I really enjoyed, so it was a struggle. Instead, let me use the example of the report Caleb was working on, Where off Earth could we live? Caleb needed to decide which sections had to be completed in order for him to accomplish the big topic. He's going to be figuring that out in the next chapter of Future Loop, but we can get a sneak peek here since we got advance information from Blaze. On the left side of the chart, Caleb lists the sections that he's broken the big topic into. For his topic, Caleb decided he needed to have sections for 1. The reasons humans would be looking for other places to live. 2. What humans would need in their new home. 3. Possible locations for living off the Earth. And 4. The technology that would be needed to live in these places. You'll notice that there are also sections for a conclusion and an introduction. Those parts are important, but you should do them at the end, after you've done the other sections. That way, if you discover something new and want to make some changes to what you are including in your report, it will be easier to make adjustments. Notice that there is also a section for proofreading and editing, something that is also very important to set time aside for. Caleb then needs to decide what smaller parts have to be completed in order to finish each section. He puts these toward the right side of the chart, lined up with the task on the left. Let's take one of the sections as a sample and see what Caleb would put down. Part 3 has to do with possible locations. After brainstorming, he came up with this list of possible places: A. Space stations in orbit. B. The Moon. C. Mars. D. A moon of Jupiter, such as Europa, or E. Earth-like planets in nearby solar systems, provided humans discovered ways to travel there in a reasonable time frame. Caleb can then plan the days that he will complete the smaller parts, and add the dates along the right-hand edge. He may have to set aside time on quite a few days, covering a number of weeks, to complete this report. It's obvious that he can't leave it until the last day if he wants to do a really good job. If you follow this approach with your big assignments, you will do well. Next, do what Caleb did. When he decided what days he could work on the big assignment, and had them recorded on his chart as mentioned, he transferred the smaller parts to his school agenda or homework book for the various days that he planned to do the work on. Always keep in mind how these small parts will add up and allow you to be successful with your big project. It sounds like a lot to do. But becoming familiar with a strategy like this gets easier the more you practice it. So, each week you should make up a to-do list of items that need completion. These could be readings, assignments, or test preparation. When the time comes, you'll be able to check these items off as they are completed. You should also keep a long-range calendar and a monthly calendar for all upcoming assignments, tests, and reports to help you stay organized. Trust me, you can avoid being overwhelmed by your work, even during the busiest times.
Doesn't it always seem that you've got an assignment due at the same time as another important life event? It's not Mission Impossible. Here's the game plan. This monthly calendar will help you coordinate the planned activities in your month with the requirements of your courses. For example, when I have large assignments due later in the month, but I also have a concert or some sporting events that I was planning to attend or participate in, then I'll need to make adjustments to the breakdown of my assignments. I'll need to plan to get items done sooner than I might otherwise have organized. I've had to do this because of the soccer games I'm involved with. Once, I had to get a report done a whole week earlier than it was due, because I had a big soccer tournament. I remember having lots of fun that weekend, I think partly because I wasn't worried about my report. We did well too. Came really close to taking home the trophy. Hang your monthly calendar in your study area and ensure that you have written the dates for all short-term and long-term assignments, reports, and project due dates, tests and quizzes on this calendar. Along with your monthly calendar, post your weekly to-do list. If you have course outlines and printed schedules, it's a good idea to post these as well. Consider using electronic calendars and lists. Here is an example using Google Calendar and Google Tasks. There are lots of apps and programs available for smartphones, tablets, iPads, and computers. Some you have to pay for, but many are free. If you use online tools like this, ensure that you have all your important dates recorded along with the tasks that are needed to be completed and the steps necessary. If you can, it will be helpful to print off copies to post in your study area that cover the upcoming month or so. Update every week or two as new information is added. Exams. Tests. For me, it was like I felt overwhelmed. But I've now learned that preparing ahead of time for tests is vital. You don't want to rush yourself and be forced into a cramming session. Your monthly calendar can help you with this. Once you've entered the dates for your quizzes and tests, you want to identify some times that you can prepare in the days and weeks leading up to these tests. Record these study sessions, on the chosen dates, in your daily agenda planner.
Setting goals is really important. Doing well with these small and medium-sized goals will help you as you consider really big goals for the coming year or for your life.
This brings us to the end of video A6. Make sure you are putting into practice all the things you're learning about time management. The next video will continue to help you with this. Video A7 will help you with setting smart goals for the year, as well as your life. Have a growth mindset. Reflect on your progress and set goals in your life. Thanks for watching. Take care.